In the NBA today, championship contention is impossible without the multiple superstars necessary to be dubbed a super team. While this creates really exciting matchups when two of the best teams in the league go head-to-head, it creates a strange power dynamic as well. All-star caliber players that are good enough to be the best player on an NBA team end up becoming second or even third options in the team hierarchy, leaving many like myself wondering how they would play and how differently they would be looked at around the league if they had their own team in which they were the primary option. Whether it be as a result of a trade or the circumstances they were drafted into or both, each of the guys on this list aren't or haven't been considered the alpha dog on their teams, but their skill set leaves me wondering what it would be like if they were. My name is Tucker, this is Sporting Logically, and here are 3 NBA stars that I would love to see have their own team. Really quickly guys, before we get started, I wanted to give a huge shout out to all of you for the level of interaction and engagement on the channel lately. The poll I put out yesterday has over 10,000 responses as of this video, and having you guys give me input really helps me to create better content and is much appreciated. If you all could do me a favor, I would really like to keep up this level of engagement, so go give me a follow on Twitter and Instagram at the usernames on screen now, as well as something new I will be doing very soon by live streaming over on Twitch. Either late this week or early next week, I will be streaming at least 3 to 4 times a week in the evenings. I'll be playing some Fortnite and just hanging out with you guys and talking about the league or anything else you want to talk about. It's something I'm really excited about and I can't wait to get started with it, so if you could give me a follow on all 3 of those sites, it would be much appreciated, and I'll be giving updates about the live streams very soon. With that done, let's get started. With the return of LeBron James to Cleveland in 2014 and the Cavaliers quick to try and create a team around him capable of winning championships right from the jump, they swung a deal to bring Kevin Love to Cleveland. With James on the roster and Kyrie Irving on his way to becoming the all-NBA caliber player he is now, it quickly became clear that Love would be a floor-spacing third option for the Cavs. 4 years later, and with Irving gone, Love now finds himself in an awkward transition to being the secondary option to James, one that has resulted in some, at times, inconsistent play. He has had some great games in the playoffs, but has completely disappeared at times as well, a narrative that has followed him in his entire tenure as a Cav, and that has resulted in him becoming the scapegoat anytime the team has struggled, more often than any other player on the roster. Alright, with that background out of the way, here's why K-Love is on the list. As a Timberwolf, albeit on a team that never made the playoffs, he was a statistical beast. In his 3rd year in the league as a 22-year-old, he averaged 20 and 15 while shooting over 40% from the three-point line. In his 4th season as a 23-year-old, he averaged 26 and 13 while getting to the free throw line over 8 times a game. Then in his 6th and final season with the Wolves, he put up 26, 12, and 4 assists while making 2.5 threes a game. Here's a list of players that have accomplished that 26, 12, and 4 stat line in the three-point era, aka since 1979. Are you ready? Kevin Love. End of list. What about players that have averaged over 15 rebounds a game and shot over 40% from 3 as he did in his 3rd season? Yup, still just Kevin Love. Okay, I'll give you a list that he actually does share with other players. Guys that have put up 26 and 13 in the three-point era at or before their 4th season in the league. Love is joined on that one by Hakeem Olajuwon, Shaquille O'Neal, and Moses Malone. Now, I'm not saying Love was the second coming or anything, but all of these numbers serve as a reminder of just how good he was statistically in Minnesota. But I can already hear the keyboards clamoring, saying that those teams never made the playoffs, that Love wasn't and still isn't a very good defender, and he was a featured option on a team without a ton of other help. I get it. But the man did things statistically that literally nobody else has done in the three-point era. And for the past 4 years, he has essentially been a glorified floor spacer that has occasionally gotten fed elbow and post touches when Kyrie and LBJ were off the floor. Now, it isn't like it's been all bad for Love in Cleveland. He's adjusted fairly well and has had some really productive seasons as a Cav, while also winning an NBA championship, so I doubt he's complaining that much. But he makes this list because part of me really hopes that the Cavs keep him on the roster if/when LeBron leaves this summer, so we can all see if Minnesota Kevin Love still exists somewhere in there. Surround the guy with shooters and quality defenders, let him work on the elbows and in the post, and see if you can get to the playoffs in a weak Eastern Conference. As per the name of the list, that is something I would love to see. You see what I did there? Okay, I'll see myself out. 99% of the time when I make a list on current players, there's one specific guy that was an inspiration for it in the first place. In this case, that guy is Klay Thompson. As I've watched the Warriors this postseason, it's really bothered me how everything is just a luxury for them offensively. Oh, Steph isn't feeling it tonight? Okay, KD can drop 40 to make up for it. KD can't make a shot? The Splash Brothers can take it old school, back to when they won a championship without Durant. Maybe more than any other team I can remember watching, Golden State doesn't have to have all of their best guys playing at a high level to win big games. That is a testament to the talent level of their roster, but having so much talent also means that each of those three guys are almost held back by the need to get each other shots. I miss the old Warriors when they had to move the ball and run and gun to get great offense, before they could just fall back on KD isolations when nothing else was working. And I miss the Durant we saw in OKC, one that was less efficient but also more exciting because he was asked or even forced to do so much more offensively. Each of them still have explosive offensive nights, but they're not as frequent as they were a few years ago. What does all this have to do with Klay? Well, basically, selfishly, I want him to shoot more. I know Steph is exciting and flashy, and Durant might be one of the most talented scorers the league has ever seen. But I truly believe with all of my heart that Klay Thompson is the greatest catch-and-shoot shooter that has ever lived. Honestly, I have a man crush on the way Klay Thompson shoots the ball. Not Thompson himself, just his release. It's so incredibly quick and smooth, and his ability to get his feet set and shoot on balance or shoot falling away and have his upper body look the exact same is unlike anything I've ever seen. I have great admiration for a lot of shooting forms around the league simply because of how much time goes into perfecting that skill, but none of them have captured my heart as fully as Klay Thompson's. One of my biggest wishes in the NBA that I know will never come true is for Klay to go to a team that will literally force feed him 30 shots a game. Seriously, run him off down screens, back screens, cross screens, driving kicks, post-ups, all of it. Give me all the Klay Thompson offensive sets, please. This is a guy that scored 60 points in 29 minutes while only touching the basketball for 90 seconds total and taking 11 dribbles in the entire game. Just think about that. Honestly, that's up there for one of the most impressive accomplishments in sports in the last 30 years in my opinion. I would love to see how many points he could score in that setting. What if the Warriors had actually traded Klay to the Timberwolves for Kevin Love a few years back as was reported? Stupid Jerry West with his incredible roster construction abilities ruining my dream. Now, I get that playing with the Warriors certainly helps Klay's efficiency and he gets a lot of open shots because of the system and sharing the floor with Steph and KD and blah blah blah. I know all that, and I don't care. This guy could easily average 30 a game on a 45-50 win team, and I'm here for it. Adam Silver can fix the super team issue that some say plagues the league and make my dreams come true all in one move. Just restart the league with a fantasy draft after this season, let the Celtics and basketball wizard Brad Stevens get a hold of Klay Thompson, add in Ricky Rubio, some solid screening wings and bigs, and unleash Klay-theism on the league. Let's make this happen. Whew, okay, deep breaths as I come back down from talking about Klay. Next on the list is Blake Griffin. After being drafted with the first overall pick and missing his entire first season with injury, he quickly became one of the most exciting players in the league with his incredible athleticism. Once he was paired with the point guard Chris Paul and Lob City reached its peak, he was truly one of the darlings of the NBA. Unfortunately for him and the Clippers, the team just never had the right combination of players to make the conference finals, and near constant injury issues to their two biggest stars late in the season certainly didn't help either. This past season, he was traded to the land of misfit basketball players, also known as the Detroit Pistons, who are now without a coach and don't look to have much of a plan moving forward. Pairing him in the front court with Andre Drummond doesn't make much sense to me, and Reggie Jackson doesn't bring me much confidence as a point guard either. Basically, I'm sad for Blake Griffin. Obviously, he's really struggled to stay healthy in the past few seasons, and at least one of those injuries was entirely his fault. But if the guy was unleashed back in his first few seasons in the league before he lost some of his athleticism, he would have been a real MVP candidate. Don't get me wrong, playing with Chris Paul certainly helped Griffin's game shine. But again, this list is me selfishly wishing I could see these guys as a featured option regardless of team success. I wish just one time I could have seen what it would be like to surround Blake with great shooters and defenders and let him work from the elbows and in the post. He would be too quick to guard with big guys and too strong and powerful to be checked by wings. Try and guard him one-on-one and watch him punish the rim with monstrous dunks, while sending an extra defender in help will only allow him to find an open shooter as one of the better passing frontcourt players in the league. This is a dream I have that, although it isn't as high on the wish list as a Klay Thompson-led team, is still something I would have loved to see. What makes it even more tantalizing is that we've seen glimpses of it, but have never had the chance to see it for an extended period of time. In the 2013-14 season, Griffin's 4th in the league and his best statistically to this point in his career, Chris Paul went down with a shoulder injury for about a month, and Blake took his game to a whole new level, averaging 27, 8, and 4 on over 55% shooting from the floor. He then followed that up by averaging 24, 13, and 7 in the first round of the 2015 playoffs against the Spurs. Pretty much everything since then has been mired either by team chemistry / roster construction issues or injuries. He's truly one of the more unique players in the league today. There are plenty of advanced stats that point to him being one of the best passing big men in the history of the league, and it's just such a shame that we will likely never get a chance to see that ability unleashed as an offensive focal point. And that is the end of the video, and I thank you all very much for watching. If you think I missed someone, then be sure to leave a comment down below and let me know who you think should have been on the list. If you liked the video, then leaving a like rating is a great way to let me know, and if you'd like to see more videos just like this, then be sure to subscribe to Sporting Logically for more content every single week. Thanks again, and I will see you all next time.